So now I say speak to someone.
Mothers and fathers want to touch more than carved names, worn photographs, flowers left behind.
I can even be the hate.
You know Miranda, right? Well, Miranda is my birthright. All my life, I've exercised the right to remain silent because anything I say can and will be used against me, and judgment will be passed. Will they believe me or will they just laugh? Truth be told, I couldn't afford the truth to be told. No one was appointed to defend me. Instead, automatically found guilty, with shame from pain inflicted, bottled up words held back by cork, waiting to be twisted, bubbling up and then settling in like regurgitation. I imagine a day when I would have never had or to hold it all in. How less real the tightness in my chest would feel. Hurt no longer, heart no longer under attack. The anxiety is real. Shoulders would be lighter, ache removed from head, free from worry and dread. Wouldn't it be nice? Instead, silent nights made for loud mornings with mind racing, trying to figure out what I could and should not say. There is no safe space, was commonplace. Daily afflicted by pain, devoid of poker face, yet I'm all right. That was my default reply. Even if you press rewind, I'm all right because I'm not dead. It could be worse, but what's worse are the things I never said. Secrets lie beneath smiles, lies hiding traumatic truths to shelter others from knowing things that I went through. The truth is, spoken words could have saved me. Could have saved me many sleepless nights, could have saved another person's life from meeting the same fate as I. Instead, I write. 'Tis I who chose the road less traveled, shouldering burdens of errors in others' ways, in other words, taking punishments for someone else who decided to misbehave. What a shame. A life in dismay. Given another chance at this life, I just may have chosen the same, giving away my right to save an assailant's life. But to make wrong right is no longer my fight. Yet I battle day and night. So now I say speak to someone, getting to root cause like icebergs peak above surface, but what's below are deceptive depths of more things to unpack. I say speak. So silence won't lead to violence because of words lacked. So closed lips don't combust like chains react and have you torn from within from fear of what others think. The worst thing is suffering and remaining silent. It's a right. It's your right, but it's not all right. You are not all right, and neither am I. Thank you. Okay, so this next poem I'm going to read is, I want to say, dedicated to my cohort members. But it's not about my cohort members, okay? But I did tell them they were very transparent and vulnerable during our time together. So I told them that I would do the same, I guess. So here we go. This is called Dear Mom. Dear Mom, you were the one who was supposed to care for me, but instead I'm taking care of you. Watched you get taken away a time or two, but the judge took me permanently away from you. Brought me into this world with a false identity. Couldn't identify my father in a lineup because you lied to me. Chose to listen to the voices in your head instead of the voice of God. At a minimum, you could have listened to your heart. Standing outside of fences, watching me play at school, our worlds so far apart, separated by law because you couldn't separate fantasy from reality, leaving me separated from my family. and going from family to family because the system was never meant for me. Trying to understand why you didn't try harder, why you didn't fight for me, why you didn't protect me. Mother entitled, held on pedestal, falling short of main responsibility. Now I'm tripping and falling my way through life, carrying trauma, seeking identity, idolizing fantasies from TV and movie screens, never having a good example of what a good woman, a good wife, a good mother is really supposed to be. Making it up as I go, leaving casualties, because the little girl inside is too afraid to grow, seeking meaning, searching for roots, causing my foundation instability, growing up feeling unwanted, safe, love is what I lacked. Triggered by every shot fired at my character, seeking apologies from mannequins when you're the only one with the answer. Why couldn't you try harder to be my mother that my brother got to see? The woman who raised me looks down on heaven at me. The woman who raised me could have been you, but you refused to take your medicine. Thank you. So it really wasn't a poem. I really did write that to my mom, but y'all got to hear it. So what is the next one? All right. This next one is called Discovery. Seeking meaning in my presence because in the present I'm lost about me. See, I thought I knew who I was. Decades later, I have no clue. What I've done means nothing to me, but to them, it means everything. The American dream gives me nightmares with the unattainable goalposts, setting goals far-fetched instead of far-reaching. In my mind, I always had this idea of where I wanted to go in life, what things would be like. My porch, my yard, right up to the door. Many doors open after several were shut out of my own mind now. I keep stressing about stuff. Is this who I've become? Have I reached my plateau? I thought I was close to the finish line, but I have way too far left to go. This journey is a new chapter, and I'm afraid to be the author. Thank you. Okay. And one last one. And this is the one that I usually do first, but I didn't want to do it first. All right, so this is my introduction, literally. My name is Miccau. M-I-C-C-A. You might not get it right on the first or the second try. But to get around the hard part, I've mastered the art of imagery. From the very beginning, I'm giving my audience an image in order to say my name correctly. Miccau, like the bird, but it's spelled differently. Remember these words, for one day it's what I'll be known for. Not only will my unique name be my claim to fame, but I will use my words to activate change. Going against the grain, shedding light on dark subjects, speaking my past rooted in pain. Who does she think she is? Where does she come from with a name never heard of? How could she just open mic and then inevitably steal stage? Well, let me explain. You've heard of the Phenomenal Woman? Well, the Phenomenal Woman, that was me that Maya Angelou told you all about in about a poem or three. But unlike that caged bird, hear me coughing, I can't sing. Yet, I made the choice to give voice to things that don't sit well with me. I can relate to being caged in like the bird, but I can no longer sit in silence. Sitting quiet no longer serves me. I've seen enough. Now I'm saying something resounding, needing to reach higher heights. I'm soaring like the bird, but my aim is different. I'm never descendant, always ascending. Sky is the limit, and still I rise like the bird, taking things from bird's eye view, bringing them down to earth for you to see, leveling up for you to see the level I bring. Food for thought, like the bird. But I'm not giving worms. I'm nourishing minds by nourishing minds, hoping that my voice can make a difference. My name is Miccau. Micca. You might remember it. It's like the bird, but it's spelled different. Thank you.
I was never aware of the water I waded in until I could no longer hold my head up high. My words washing away, I realized when the strong tides pulled me under, I cannot swim. I cannot live like this. I am drowning in an ocean of subconscious fears and waking nightmares. I cannot leave this ocean. I cannot sail this sea. Engulfed by pain, engulfed by this pain my life has poured onto me. I am drowning and no one sees. Poem. All right. This one is titled Lucifer. You remind me of an angel that once fell, so delicate and fragile, craving to return to your heavens. But I guess I forgot to remember that Lucifer was once an angel too. Poem. Very small. Oh, I kind of forgot. There was actually another stanza. Sorry, I lied. So the rest of the rest of the poem is, but there's something about the devil I've forgotten to see in you. You know, it was all, yeah. Okay, so the next one was titled Kintsugi. If you don't know what that is, I'll just explain it. Kintsugi is a Japanese art, and literally you break the plate and you put it back together with like gold. The art of Kintsugi is what I aspire to be. Broken pieces mended together, dusted in silver or gold. The art of embracing your flaws, imperfections, and the darkness that falls. How beautiful would it be to take the pain and create this abstract symmetry? Instead, I fall victim, always back to square one, smashing this pottery as I pray for a better outcome. It will never be good enough. Poem. All right. This is a newer one. Okay. Set you free, set you free, set you free, set you free. Why would I throw away the fruits of my labor, the digging of my roots, your roots, our roots, the stress of my nimble fingers, forging them to intertwine as if to create something genetically modified, whatever. Even if it was you who declared war on my cardiovascular and nervous system, I languish for your departure to have only been a dream. Stuck and breathless, why would I give a shit about you needing time? Time. If it's time you say you need, then retrieve a watch or a clock or watch the sunset like me. Minutes are the antidote seeping into my IV. It's poisonous to be so passionate. It's disgusting to ache. But you've become the nexus to my universe, and I can't set you free. Poem. Right. Last poem is titled Philosophy. I wish I could say. Okay. All right. I am the breeze on a warm summer day, shaking branches and leaves just so you can breathe. I am the sea, all-knowing and deep, encasing secrets and mysteries even scientists can't reach. You can ride my waves or drown in me. I am the fire from the lighter you use to spark the blunt, burn the sage, set the birthday candles ablaze, only to wish for better days. Hot to the touch, I can be destructive if you fuck around too much. I am earth, the ground you walk on, the beautiful sky you see, freshly cut grass, sunflowers, and weeping willow trees. I am life, this cosmic energy, sun, moon, and stars flowing through my veins, pumping into my heart. I am divine, a combination of past, present, and future. I am nirvana, the heaven you seek. Prayer and peace, it's all in me. I am duality. I am the pitch black yin and the yang, chaos and destruction, black holes in space. I can even be the hate. I am poetry. I am war. I am timeless philosophy. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore, I am. Poem.
My grandfather is not superstitious, but he loves goldfish, living, breathing Asian symbols of good luck. Still wearing silk pajamas, he feeds open mouths that break the smooth surface of his pond and follows flashes of orange, black, and white, silver-scaled carp. With eyes of a younger man, he shows me the graceful fins and streamlines until my skin glows red, iridescent in the sunlight like swimmers that glide in waters soothing as the womb. My reflection floats, but I want to plunge in and taste waves. Evening comes. Grandfather gathers the family and brings light to the slender fish darting into our dreams like flares. Fireflies spark the cold shadows and waters of night with the slick tails that we can no longer touch. Years ago, when I was in first grade, I created my first piece of art, first collage. My small hands tear purple, brown, and yellow paper into jagged apple trees. Sprinkles of leaves toss in autumn breeze, sharpening the scent of burnt branches, bonfires, hot cider. Sweeps of gold and crimson, warm hands, hair, skin, breath. My fingers grow 4, then 7 trees into a surreal forest against the night sky of construction paper. Scissors cut a ghost. It wanders among trees and foliage like a lost fawn haunting my childhood, that fairy tale where I only know life. Before I learned to fear darkness and ghosts, death was only a poison apple knocking Snow White into a deep sleep. Before I know that the apple Eve and Adam shared is foreplay to man's fall, I know only of its sweet taste. My father passed away years ago, and it made me think about the brevity of life. Last will. I do not want to ponder death. I buried my head in my hands, but I hear Christmas carolers singing outside. If I cradled a plastic skull and furrowed my brow, I should be ready to accept the brevity of life and savor every minute as I plot out my last days. I do not want to count my gray hairs or wrinkles. I do not want to watch my father, my mother, my family, and friends walk out one by one, saying goodbyes, as if it was natural to relive the past by clinging to memories and old photos. I do not want to list what I own. I leave all I have to you, my husband. What I have is yours, my body, face, love. My books and dresses are yours to share with my sister and nieces. I want to stay in your arms. I do not want to think of where I will go after death. Heaven, I hope, and pray to God to forgive my sins and transgressions. I do not want to live through 1,000 cycles of life and wonder each time if I will be man, butterfly, or some creature crawling and searching for love. Years ago, I washed my grandmother's hair, and I felt a certain closeness, which you feel when you're really close to someone. Washing grandmother's hair. As she leans into blue porcelain, warm water invites her black hair, streaked with silver strands of wisdom. I'm afraid to pull out for her. Slowly her eyes and wrinkles ease into the balance of a delicate face destined by a Chinese fortune teller for long life and good luck. My hands grow soft with hair falling and swirling in the water. My fingertips shampoo gentle clouds drifting through the knots of her scalp, where an acupuncturist's hot needles burn the seizures of her youth. As clear streams soothe and cleanse, I cradle her head of shiny dark hair while she rises and laughs like a young girl sharing secrets. Okay, here we go. Okay. Grandmother at 18. From her leather purse, my grandmother slips out a faded black and white photo and laughs. How's a pretty girl at 18? We gaze at her glossy image again. Curled hair, bright eyes, bright lips above a mandarin collar of a silk dress. She recalls how she waltzed and glided like a lady, balancing Western books on her head at a boarding school in Hong Kong. In English, she teased classmates. Winning at mahjong, her eyes glowed. Favorite daughter of the mayor in Canton. Young suitors filled her arms with roses, oranges, chocolates. Tell us about falling in love with Grandpa. Tucking her photograph aside, she whispers, "Don't get married if you want to stay young." Dreams. Yeah, this one, for years I always dreamt of searching for and finding a beautiful seashell when I lived in Charleston, South Carolina. But then I learned later on that there's always these beachcombers that wake up at like 5 a.m. in the morning, and they actually snatch them all up and they sell them to the stores. So I was never able to find one, even though I always dreamt of it. Dreams. Lightning dove, apple blossom, cantaloupe. Shells, miniature caves where we peek inside and plunge down swirling slides. Salted pink caverns, echoes of a different sea. Which brings us to the beach, searching for starfish, sand dollars, dreams, in a desert of chipped cups and vases left by snails, sparkling glass, miles of sand, that we leave to the dark sea, the night, the shadows who flock at dawn, tossing our dreams into heavy sacks, crushing ones shaped like sad pebbles beneath their boots, leaving only scattered footprints on an empty beach. Okay, this is one of the first poems I wrote years ago, because at that time I was very into painting. Portrait of the Girl Who Whistles. The artist examines the female model, her face, color, hair, and expression. His fingers caress the brush, swirling vibrant oils, alizarin crimson, Naples yellow, ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and more. The artist challenges the empty canvas and commits the first stroke. With a clumsy brush, he pushes color and freshness into the cloth. Slowly, the delicate features emerge, soft blue eyes, a nose, and puckered lips. The painted girl breathes and laughs with each sweep of blended pigment. When her raven tresses flow and cheeks blush, the artist smiles and drops his brush. The weary model leaves the stage, admires the lively girl who whistles and wants to dry. My younger sister was never fond of practicing the piano, so this one, based on what I saw. Performance. Descending upon the grand piano, my sister pushes slender fingers into ivory keys. Black hair flows across tense shoulders in pink silk. Dark eyes pulse with chords, arpeggios, notes. Running up and down scales, she accelerates like a racehorse. High heels pumping, carrying a bolero that leaves me breathless and takes me back home, where she throws anger like toy blocks across keys, Hands pounce, striking notes, music she is forced to play again. No Chopin sonatas tonight, no waltzes or sweet melodies caressing, plucking our hearts. Concertos become harsh finger exercises, rap with a strong beat, loud purpose. Energy jolts the house, our ears, stronger than shouting, slamming doors, or kicking holes in walls. Okay. This is a dear friend of my mother, and also me as well, and she taught me how to write some creative writing years ago when I was very young. Sherry, flipping through my wedding photos, I catched your image, dyed blonde hair, raspy laughter, and drift in the summer afternoons, smoky with your cigarettes, cold lemonade, wrinkled pages, smudged cursive heavy with adjectives in my adolescent writing. Omit needless words, you grinned with Will Shrunk. You tossed me your books and stories that breathed and glowed. A new unicorn, gargoyles, children bouncing in new sneakers, your first kiss. Years later, you loved my poems. Painted girl who whistles blue roses, shadows fading into our last evening together. I didn't stay past midnight to hear your stories, the blur of beer, sacks, and the damn cigarettes that took your life. I wrote this poem years ago after going to the Vietnam War Memorial. Black granite, sorrow cast in stone, dipping into darkness one soldier at a time, as names and death consume the wall, the nation stretching year after year. 58,249 lives face our searching eyes, the young and old, fellow soldiers. Mothers and fathers want to touch more than carved names, worn photographs, flowers left behind, as American flags blur reflections on wars that bring no peace. Thank you.